Mhm. This is great. Let's start. Hey everyone, welcome back to Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I'm your host Avik, and today we are diving into a conversation that's both spiritual and practical, visionary, and deeply rooted in the present. We are talking about New Earth, what it is, how to live it, and the role mindfulness plays in bringing this transformative concept into reality. Yeah. So, joining me for this enlightening discussion is the one and only Queen D. Michelle. So, welcome to the show, Queen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Anytime I get an opportunity to talk about New Earth, I'm lit up. It just
Yeah,
lights me up on the inside to talk about it.
lovely, lovely. So Queen, like before we start, I'll quickly love to introduce you to all of our listeners. Dear listeners, Queen, with life rich in experiences from teaching, traveling, spiritual awakening, and creating mindful educational tools for the future generations, she is the embodiment of living with the intention. So she is the author of several inspiring books, including Traveling Home Together and Road to Wellbeing, and has developed a curriculum to foster mindfulness and self-awareness for the next generation. So, Queen, welcome to the show. I am so honored to, you are here, and I'm really excited that to hear your story, your journey, and I can't wait to dive in.
All right. Well, thank you again for having me. Anytime I get an opportunity to talk about living New Earth and exactly what New Earth is, it,
Yeah.
it lights me up on the inside. But I would like to tell you the backstory. How did it come to be? How did how did I fall into this community of thought? And it started when I retired. I was elementary and middle school teacher for 27 years, and I retired in 2015. And after about a year or so, I realized that I would have to continue to work, for the rest of my life in order to supplement the pension that I was getting from teaching, right? So I started researching the top 10 places to retire, and Mexico fit the bill. For me, it's a place called Lake Chapala in the state of Jalisco in Mexico. It's the largest expat community in the country. I relocated there in 2017, and I tell you, it was life changing. The trajectory of my life really changed as I truly settled into retirement, because now I had the opportunity to dive into me, to turn into me, and a whole transformation took place. This broader way of being beingness. I might as well just say I had a spiritual awakening. I had a spiritual awakening there, and from that spiritual awakening, I dived into writing. I created a brand called Considerations of the Soul. And I started writing. My first book was just about moving to Mexico. It's called Considerations of the Soul, a guide for moving abroad. That was my first book. But after the spiritual awakening that I had in Mexico, this wonderful place, I wrote I wrote The Road to Well-Being. After The Road to Well-Being. Now, The Road to Well-Being talks about the six aspects that make up the totality of our well-being. And of course, we know that those to be social, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial. I'm missing one. You will help me out with that. Spiritual, because I'm only counting five. But I
Right.
wrote that book, and after that came Traveling Home Together. Traveling Home Together is a meaty metaphoric, uh, it takes the reader on a meaty metaphoric journey into discovering uh, New Earth, discovering themselves. And that's how my platform for Living New Earth began. I am a light worker, a way shower, a frequency code holder, and a New Earth representative. So, what, and I wanted to just say that and give you the background of how I came to be a representative of Living New Earth now. And I want to take you into what exactly is New Earth. What is New Earth? New Earth is not a place, it's a state of consciousness. And you are able to obtain that state of consciousness by going inward, by discovering what I call your soul self. And there's different names for it, your higher self, uh, spirit. I call it the soul, my soul self. Once you're turned inward and you discover and you meet your soul self, there's a shift in consciousness that takes place. And what happens is that your ego, which
mm,
before you are awakened, before you experience this shift in consciousness, your ego is driving. Your ego is in the front seat, and your ego has been there, and it's what everyone believes. Those who are not awakened, they are their egos, those thoughts and feelings and ideas. But once turned inward, one discovers their soul self. And when that shift in consciousness takes place, now your soul self is in the front seat driving. Now, your ego is still with you. We do need our ego. Our ego serves a general purpose, but it's not the general. Okay, it serves a general purpose. And if we could put ego in the back seat and then align with our soul self, now we live from within. And that's living New Earth now. It's a state of consciousness that you can still be in the realm of uh, 3D, meaning when you're going to work and those things that you are, because there is a system, there is a systematic, what I call the matrix, that one actually becomes aware of once awakened. And now you see it, and you see it, and you're an observer of it,
mm,
but not so much a participator in it, because you're living new consciously. It's a conscious. See, people think when you ascend that you're ascending upward. There's no upward, there's no lateral, there's no ascension upward to become this enlightened person. Oh, I'm moving upward. No, ascension is moving inward. You ascend
mm,
inward. Okay, so even just that thought right there, you don't ascend upward, you ascend inward. And here's the thing, Eric, there's so many distractions. Oh my, to keep you to keep you from going in inwards. I would even say that, uh, go so far to say that organized religion is a
mm,
huge distraction, because it keeps you looking outward, you know. And my thing with that, and coming into the realization, is that I would never be based on the conditioning and the programming that one grew up in, that shaped this ego to make you, believe this is who you are. um I would never be worthy enough. I could never pray enough, give enough, praise enough, serve enough. I would just never do enough,
mm,
but I could just do my best, and maybe,
mm,
maybe, I'll find his favor. And here's that's the other thing with his. See, God is a shaped into this, almost a person, you
mm.
know.
Yeah,
He, God, he,
yeah.
he, he. key. So with that, of course, you're all. And what about us poor girls who already have daddy issues?
mm,
Once again, that puts us even further behind the eight ball. This is something I want to lay out, and I want you to gnaw on this for a minute, and tell me, does this resonate with you? Because this
mm,
was a profound thing for me, and this is
yeah.
it.
Wow.
God. Okay, you ready? Okay. God in me,
Mm,
expressed in form
mm,
as me, is experiencing itself
mm,
through me and is me. I and my creator are one. I am one with
mm,
all that is. Now, if you know on that and notice that pronoun, there's no he or she, you know, itself. We can't itself, experiencing itself
true.
through me. It's and another game-changing premise
Mm,
of living new earth is that we are eternal beings. That's a
mm,
game changer. That's a game changer. You internalize that simple truth. We are eternal beings, eternally evolving itself. We are one with all that is. And that's a huge, and when you get that,
mm,
an understanding of that, and that all that has been is, that's when ancestry and
mm,
our ancestors come into play. I do also, in this understanding of living new earth now, practice African spirituality. And
mm,
again, it takes us back to ourselves. Spirituality takes us inward, you understand, not with anything. And that's where everything is. Even the simple truth that's in the Bible, that the kingdom of God is
mm,
within, is within. But they still give you all of these things to do that keep you without. You have to pray this way. You have to give this much. You have to, it's all of these things. But once you go inward and you meet your soul self, any and everything you ever wanted to know about is answered. Everything is on the inside. Now it's not poured on you all at once. Let's
mm,
understand, it's they gently, the love, as
mm,
they gently reveal to you who you are, what your purpose is here. And then that's when the fun begins. That's when you're on the playground. Now I'm on the playground. Now I'm in New Earth, because I am here to have
yeah.
fun, to explore, to expand, to create. I am a creator. If I'm
Mm,
part of all that is, you know, I and
yeah.
my creator are one. I am a creator. I'm here so that creation experiences and expands through
Mm,
me, in this time space reality that I'm so honored to be in. Now,
true.
how is all of this wonderful information known and chewed upon, and then truly deeply understood from an intuitive level, where you now hear the
Mm,
the the path? Go here, call him, go there, talk to her, move here, do that. It's a wonderful ebb and flow with this harmonic flow of the universe. And now you're in it. You in this ebb and flow, and you're trusting. There's in living new earth now, there's no attachment.
mm,
There's no resistance, and there's no judgment.
like, wow. So lovely. I mean, it's really, really great to hear from you. Lovely. And also, like when we're talking about this, you have developed the mindfulness curriculum and written books on the subject. So how do you see mindfulness as the key to living in this higher conscious of new earth?
Okay, and I'm so glad you did mention I wrote a
Yeah.
curriculum, and this is what happened when I was in Mexico, because I lived there for 4 years, but I was called back to my hometown in the States to care for my parents. I became their full-time caregiver, and it was an honor to do that. But right before I left to come
Mm,
here, and it was rather unexpected. I didn't know that was going to happen. It actually changed the trajectory of my life in all of the work that I had been doing in Mexico as it relates to Live in New Earth. I was getting ready to do a 8-month workshop. It was going to be every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Right, and I called in all the gurus from around the lake. I had a meditation guru and an art guru and a movement guru, and they were going to dive into not only traveling home together, but a book called 52 Insights for Living New Earth Now. And
mhm,
then I got the call. And all of that was put on hold, pause. Matter of fact, when I came home, I just tucked it away and I turned my attention toward caring for my parents. It wasn't until I handed that book to my niece uh, for a birthday gift that she thumbed through it and she said, Auntie, this would be great for high school. She's a girls basketball coach. And I thought, you're right. It was just sitting there in the corner, right?
mhm,
It was sitting there in the corner, and I talked with another relative who's also a retired teacher and educator, and she said, "Oh no." She said, "That's perfect for middle school." And that's when it hit me. That's when it exploded. I'm telling you, all of that work that I did, the writing that I did in Mexico, it was never for the
mm,
audience that I had intended it, that I thought it was for. That work was for Generation Alpha. And when that realization came, and again, through meditation, because I'm going inward, and little by little, they're giving me what the path is. Your soul self, when you're kept connected and aligned, they'll give it's given to you.
mm,
And it was said, had you known that this was for Generation Alpha, some way or another, I probably would have messed it up. I had a totally different audience in mind when I created that. And so uh, when that realization came, I did a deep dive into Generation Alpha. And who is Generation Alpha? I'm just going to tell you a little bit about these individuals, because this mindfulness curriculum, which was
mm,
once 52 Insights for Living New Earth Now, it's now 52 Insights for Gen Alpha, a conscious curriculum. And the curriculum focuses on self awareness through activities that foster mindfulness, self management, relationship skills, social awareness, and conscious decision making.
mm,
And that's for Gen Alpha. But let me tell you who they are. Gen Alpha are those individuals born between 2010 and 2024. The oldest of that generation turned 13 last year. They're the children of the millennials and some of those X's. Or was it yeah, Generation X, who kind of got into the game late. But I tell you this, they are the first generation to be born fully in the 21st century. They are the most materially endowed generation ever. And they will be the largest generation in the history of the world. Now,
mm,
here's the thing with Generation Alpha. Since they were the first generation to be born fully in the 21st century, by the
yeah,
time they were one, two infants even, though that tablet or that phone went into their hand. You understand? They have always been taught
mm,
externally. You feel me? Always.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Now, here's the thing. I get it. I understand. Technology is a beautiful thing, and it's
Mm,
growing and it's evolving. And when parents saw, oh wow, I can get the dishes done. Oh man, I can get some studying done, or I can, because they're being taught externally, and then
mm,
parents too themselves were trying to keep up themselves with how fast everything was changing.
mm,
They're trying to keep up with it. So what we neglected to do for Generation Alpha is we we neglected, because in no fault of ours, we were just trying to keep up in everything. We love our kids, we want to be good parents, but we've lost them in a sense, because they are now in spaces and in platforms free from parental influence. This
mm,
Generation Alpha uh, has access to technology and platforms that their parents don't even understand. So they're out there. But what we fail to give them in school, in a curriculum, like we did back in the day when we had courses like shop
yeah.
and home economics and driver's ed, all those things that got
Mm,
us prepared. you know uh we didn't give them, or we're not giving them, the balance that they need to navigate those external realms that they've been in since the time they understood language. That's making them so socially awkward, you know
mm,
socially unaware. They're disconnected, and they don't have the emotional intelligence.
true.
We didn't balance it and give them the emotional intelligence that's necessary to navigate those realms that they're in. And that emotional intelligence is mindfulness. That, by all means, since it's always been external, my God, if we don't balance them with something to take them inward,
Mm,
they're going to have a very extreme, and they are now. We're seeing it
mm,
now. So how come we can't have a course in there? Just a course. I'm not saying along with their math and their English and their and their writing and their reading. But in this course of mine, 52 Insights for Gen Alpha, it's a year-long course, and it's for seventh through ninth graders, catching them at 12, 13, and 14. But
mm,
it is my hope and prayer that somebody comes up under me who, with the same idea, same concept, and break it down even further. Let's start them in preschool. They're already on the tablets in preschool. Let's
yeah.
also give them that balance that they need to help them navigate that external world. Um, and that is being my curriculum is being piloted in two middle schools right now. Currently, it's being piloted. Um, and I'm finding and learning now so many things. The, your audience will be able to even take a look at this it
Mm,
in real time on my the website of my nonprofit organization. They'll be able to click on 52 Insights,
mm,
see the teachers. They just came off of a 16-day intensive over the holiday break, and from that intensive, I now have I had a third party marketing company interview the parents, the students, and even the teachers on how they are receiving this curriculum. 52 Insights for Gen Alpha.
perfect. Lovely. What a conversation. I really, really loved it. I mean, uh, so this is such an inspiring and uplifting conversation. And I have to say, when like you have given us so much to think about, and like
Thank
from the role
you.
of yeah, from the role of imagination and mindfulness to how we can heal individually and collectively as we move forward towards the new earth. So, dear listeners, if you're ready to start your own journey, remember that living the new earth doesn't require perfection. It's about making those intentional choices and embracing your growth and staying present with compassion. So, so Quinn, like, where can our listeners connect with you and explore your work further?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I have a nonprofit organization called Fula History and Genealogy Society in America. And see, one of the tenets of my nonprofit organization was to create, establish, and promote educational materials for the upliftment and enhancement of sense of self and Gen Alpha. So that kind of all falls into a nice little a nice little bundle there, and they can find that on fulaamerican.org. Fula, FULA American.org. You can find out more about the nonprofit. You'll find out more about 52 Insights. And listen to this for those who want to dive deeper. Oh, and also my publication, my books are also on that website. If they want to dive deeper into the curriculum and keep up with it, I am going to start pre-sales for that for 52 Insights. A conscious curriculum on March 20th of this year. Right
Oh,
after the
wow.
pilot is right after the pilot. I wanted to sweep the country, man. I wanted in the middle schools. I want them to start considering putting a course in middle school that just, in schools period, across, all grade levels, a grade level appropriate that
Yeah,
helps them balance uh
perfect.
that's a platform that I'm standing on. So
Lovely. Lovely.
yeah.
Wonderful. So, audience, like, if this conversation has resonated with you, share it with someone who needs a little inspiration today. And do not forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and remember, creating your version of New Earth begins right now. So, with
Mm.
the choices you make today. So, until next time, take care of your mind, your life, and your spirit. So, with this, thank you so much.